Walk into any grocery store today. Look closely. The cereal box is lighter. The chip bag holds fewer chips. The price tag? Higher than last year. This isn't greed, this is survival. A quiet shift began long before consumers noticed the higher receipts. Not a spike, not a shock, but a structural pressure that forced food companies to rethink everything they once believed was stable. And here's what most people got wrong. Inflation didn't just raise prices, it exposed how fragile many food business models actually were. For decades, the industry relied on predictable commodities, mid-single-digit input swings, and once-a-year pricing negotiations. Then the numbers began moving. Freight doubled. Edible oils up 40%. Packaging, proteins, ingredients, all surging at once. The old architecture didn't bend, it collapsed. Here's the first domino. Brands could not raise prices at the pace their cost structures deteriorated. The gap between COGS and what retailers would accept widened into a strategic fault line. And that fault line forced a rewrite. Shrinkflation, once a last resort tool, became standard play, but that was only the surface. Underneath, companies began clawing back margins that had quietly eroded, 2 to 4 percentage points that determined whether annual profit targets would be met or missed. Then came the hidden mechanism, architecture control. Companies started asking questions they had never asked before. How much profit per gram? Per minute of factory time? Per pallet? Per mile of freight? Every product had to justify its existence. In numbers. High volume, low margin items? Gone. Slow movers? Cut. No exceptions. Entire sections of portfolios were redesigned to reduce exposure to volatile ingredients. And then came the twist. Premiumization accelerated, fast. Premium products, the expensive ones, grew 3 times faster than value lines. Consumers assumed brands were upselling. They weren't. They were surviving. A premium SKU delivered margins 8 points higher than its budget counterpart. And in crisis years, that 8-point gap, it meant the difference between layoffs and expansion. Meanwhile, a quieter threat was rising. Private labels, the store brands once ignored, captured ground faster than anyone predicted. Mid-20% share in many categories, over 50% at some retailers. For the first time, private labels weren't alternatives, they were replacements. So companies responded with sharper price pack strategies. 5% size reductions, 2-tier ladders, re-engineered formulations. But the real transformation happened behind the scenes, in procurement, manufacturing, and sourcing. Multi-sourcing agreements expanded, supplier diversification accelerated, factories were redesigned to eliminate single-ingredient bottlenecks. Vertical integration returned to the agenda as companies reassessed the value of owning core inputs. Consider one major snack manufacturer, name withheld, but you'd recognize the logo. In 2021, they sold 47 SKUs in a single product line. By 2023, 18. They didn't lose customers, they cut complexity, and margins recovered by 6 points in under 2 years. Then came consolidation. Rising costs and compressed margins fueled targeted M&A, deals built on efficiency, automation, and ingredient security. Deal volume fell, but deal quality sharpened. Companies bought resilience, not just growth. Midway through this reset, a broader pattern emerged. Inflation didn't merely distort prices, it exposed inefficiencies built up over decades. Line utilization, waste, inventory systems, freight optimization, promotional budgets, everything was re-examined. Defensive restructuring evolved into long-term strategic recalibration. But inflation also revealed a limitation. Not every cost could be offset, and not every category could absorb price increases. Where elasticity was high, unit volumes fell. The tension between pricing power and consumer tolerance became one of the defining managerial challenges of the decade. Some companies leaned on innovation. Others built value-tier extensions to slow erosion. By the time inflation moderated, the old economic model wasn't coming back. Companies had rewritten how they forecast, how they negotiate, how they source, how they manufacture, and how they price. The food system became more data-driven, more risk-aware, and far more attuned to volatility as a permanent feature, not a temporary disruption. So we stepped back. Inflation served as a stress test, not just on finances, but on strategy. It revealed which companies understood their cost structures deeply, which had true pricing power, which had flexible supply chains, and which relied too heavily on stability that no longer exists. And now, a question lingers in executive hallways. If inflation rewired the food industry once, what pressure will rewrite it next? Climate volatility? Geopolitical fractures? AI-driven supply chains that move faster than human decisions? The answer will decide which brands quietly fade, and which ones rise on the architecture they rebuilt under strain. In the end, inflation didn't just shift prices, it revealed the industry, every weakness, every inefficiency, every assumption left unquestioned. And in exposing it, it rebuilt it. Quiet, structural, permanent. The food system that emerges isn't the one that went in. It's harder, leaner, and far less forgiving.